Hello viewers, welcome to the channel Knowledge Hub and please subscribe the channel and welcome to the core issue. Today I'm going to explain about the different dimension of the Kashmir issue and what are the secret dimensions of the Kashmir issue, and at the same time the Kashmir issue is a major problem between the two countries, Pakistan and India. And at the same time, when we can say that it is the skeleton in the cupboard for the Indian democracy, as India is claiming that we're running a world super democracy. And what type of democracy they are running, even they are not getting the right of self-determination to the people of Kashmir. So Kashmir issue originated from 1932 when Muslim Conference established, and Muslim Conference has a broad agenda to work for all the communities of subcontinent, either Hindu, either Muslim, in every communities. But with the passage of the time, the discrimination of the communities occurred in the Muslim Conference. So Kashmir issue started when the people in the Kashmir, majority of the peoples in the Kashmir are the Muslims, and they demanded for their annexation with Pakistan. But at that time, the Maharaja was Hindu, and he was not in favor, and he was not agree to annex the Kashmir with Pakistan. Either he was in favor of India. But with the passage of the time, the freedom fighters from uh, moved in different parts of the Kashmir, and they started their jihad there. But it has aggravated the situation, and Maharaja became more frightened, and he requested India to launch her forces in the valley of Kashmir. And at the same time, the Maharaja wrote the letter to the India that Maharaja need really help against these freedom fighters who have forcefully invaded in the valley of the Kashmir, and they are exploiting the people against Maharaja. But it was not a thing that the Maharaja was not agree. The Maharaja was completely agree to annex the Kashmir with the India, but the peoples were not agree at that time, and it has created a conflictual situation there. And with the passage of the time, the India demanded for the ceasefire, in both Pakistan and India signed the ceasefire agreements in United States. And India then promised that India will decide the future of the people of the Kashmir according to their choices, and India will definitely play a better role to remove the Kashmir quagmire. And from that time, the Kashmir issue became more and more complicated, and it has different dimension and different lenses to see the Kashmir issue. It is either a issue of self-interest, it is either the issue between the two states like Pakistan and India, and it is also an issue of you can say that it is an issue of third party, Kashmiri people. So it has different dimension. Again and again, both India and Pakistan, both are both are making their efforts for the people of the Kashmir. But the or the people of Kashmir are getting their rights and their opportunities of life, that is the another question. Because again and again, Kashmir issue is like old page in the bucket. In Kashmir issue, both the states have nothing to do with the Kashmir issue, and they are making their bilateral agreements, and they are increasing their defense forces just to keep a pressure on one another. And Kashmir issue is still stagnant and at on the same page as it was in 1947. So with the passage of the time, the India demanded that India is the world best democracy. But India in Kashmir, the violence and the slaughter of the people has debunked this, that India is running a defective model of democracy in the world. So uh, what would be the consequences? The World Peace Organizations are saying that they will contribute towards the Kashmir issue, they will contribute for the freedom of the people of the Kashmir. But the question is different, that the peoples at the verge of the freedoms are waiting, and they have the no opportunities for their life. And India has repealed the Article 35A just to give the opportunities to the people of the Kashmir. And what about the Kashmir, Pakistani Kashmir? And in Pakistani Kashmir, peoples are getting less opportunities, and peoples are still sitting on the verge of waiting for the freedom. So Kashmir issue is really complicated issue, and